So, I get a lot of questions asking why I got into ASMR, and I think that's a really good question to answer, even though I know I said it's... Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't think too hard about it. So, I actually got into ASMR because I was home alone by myself all the time, and I was just really lonely. I had some interests that I liked, and I didn't know anyone else around me who liked them. All that kind of stuff. It was kind of a lonely time, and I was really sad and depressed. And I lived in the middle of nowhere. I lived 40 minutes away from town. I had nothing to do. I knew no one. And so I decided to do something that maybe I would enjoy. I used to listen to some ASMR sometimes. I had been told I had a nice voice. And so I went, what if I just started doing ASMR? I started on my iPhone 6 that couldn't even stay on unless it was plugged in. For real. Like, my phone had been like a million years old by that point, and genuinely, if I tried to plug it in, it just, or like if I unplugged it, it would just die instantly. And so I would sit on the bedroom floor of my guest room, and I would just start recording. And I also didn't have any like software to use. I didn't really have a laptop, or I didn't know how to do anything. And so I would have to record on my default phone app, like the camera app, with like the camera down so it was a black screen. and then I would just have to like talk, and if my dog started barking or any noise was made, I had to restart the whole recording because I didn't know how to like cut it out. So if anyone ever wants to start something, just start it. Just start it. But 3 years later, and I'm at 70,000 subscribers now. And I never thought I would get here, and I'm so happy. And I'm making enough to afford my own apartment and pay rent, and I'm so happy. Especially because I grew up, like, I don't talk about this part very often, but I grew up in a very, very poor situation, and I love my mother dearly. And it was very unfortunate, but she, like, really struggled to take care of me. She wanted me, like, she loved me, but she didn't want to have me. And she was, like, 20 when she had me. She didn't even get to finish college. So she was just, like, a single mother trying to take care of me. And it sucked so bad. I felt terrible because she always told me stuff like, she was like, my baby, you can either have milk or we won't have, like, I won't have gas to go to work. And she would have to try and explain that to me when I was like really young, and I understood that I couldn't have milk for my cereal because if we did, she couldn't afford to go to work. And sorry, that got heavy really fast. I kind of want to explain where I came from because I think it's good for me to be myself and open. But I grew up with that all the way until I sort of started my YouTube channel because I had a little bit of a job before then. I worked at a pizza place where this guy paid me $3 an hour. It sucked. Anyways. But eventually I kind of got my footing, and I was graduating high school, and eventually I was able to sort of afford, but I didn't live with my mother anymore. She and I haven't seen each other in a while, not because I love her dearly, but we live far apart now. But I wanted to tell that story because I wanted everyone to know how much I genuinely appreciate just all the help and like love that I get, because all of this stuff is sort of new to me. Like, I only started blowing up sort of a little bit on my channel and growing within like the past year. And I'm still really adjusting and like figuring it out. And I know that even now when I was doing like a mic test, you could sort of hear my computer fan in the background, and I'm sure you can hear some of the cicadas outside, and it's not a very good setup, and my stream doesn't work super well. But aside from the background and like my model, I made everything here. I made like this funny chat box. I made the transition. I learned, and we could do it again, just to show you. I had to learn how to make a transparent video. In order to do that, it was difficult. And even now, it's still kind of janky and cheesy, but I made it. And I'm really proud of myself for working on all this and making it. And I'm really happy so many people are here, even though my heart is racing like crazy. My heart is pounding so fast. I'm so nervous. But I'm trying really hard right now to be just like my genuine self and speak to you as me, as Pillow. And I hope by the next upcoming streams we have everything figured out and it's not all these issues. This is my first time streaming ever, so I'm learning, but I don't think I have any more questions. Or wait, I'm not the one asking questions. I'm sorry. I'm not the one asking questions. I'm not the one asking questions. What I wanted to say, what I was trying to say is that I want to start reading questions now. Did someone inspire you to do ASMR? So you know how the content I do is, it's purely like listening. I don't really have any visual ASMR. I like visual ASMR. I'm not as big into like closing my eyes and relaxing and listening to ASMR. I personally prefer like I especially like light triggers. I like whenever people will like wave a light over the screen. It's like, woo, woo, follow the light. Follow the red light. Follow the red light. I like when people do that. And I don't think there was anyone in specific that inspired me. And honestly, it's been so long that I just don't really remember. But maybe there is someone. How do you plan the plots of your audios? For 90% of my audios, I kind of just go, this is what I want to do. But for the more complex ones, I would like to mention that I'm a little dyslexic, and sometimes it can be really difficult for me to say certain words or they just like come out of my mouth wrong. So sometimes in audios you will hear me say stuff wrong, and that's why. Anyways, usually I just wing it. I'll just come up with the basic concept and I'll just kind of go with it. But for the more complicated videos, sometimes I'll write down notes on my phone, like do this eventually. But that's about as far as I go. I never like really write down specific lines or anything. Why yandere? Do you want some? Why yandere? I have a long story for that one. And I guess probably a lot of people are interested in it. Let me get a little closer. That's a little too close. Okay, so when I was younger, I was also I've been very isolated my whole life. Shocker, I know. But that just meant like I got bullied a lot in school. No one really liked me when I was younger. I was weird. I used to chase boys around the playground barking at them. I go yeah, I used to chase boys around the playground barking at them. But when I got older, I still was pretty isolated. But I realized that no one liked me because I was being so weird. And so I think my little brain, I went, oh, if I become yandere, then they'll have to like me. So when I was younger, I saw just like yandere anime girls, and I went, oh, that can be me. That can be me. and so I really became fond of the idea of yandere, and I was also mentally ill, but I'm a lot better now and I'm healthy, and they don't take it anywhere outside of fiction. But when I was younger, it was definitely my cup of tea. PSA, yandere, real life bad. Please don't do that. Only in fiction, okay?